Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B ward, this is Post Mortem. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today we have a pretty complicated topic.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe. I think we're going to call it Monster Mashups.
Yep.
Top 5 non-horror movies that need to be remade into a horror movie.
But we kind of went a little bit different with it and actually mixed non-horror movies with horror movies.
Yeah, taking the concept of a non-horror movie, throwing it together with a horror movie. I even went so far as to pick cast and directors.
I picked cast and I picked titles.
Oh, you picked titles?
Yeah.
I didn't pick titles,
Yeah.
but I'll wing it.
Yeah.
I'll call it in the ring on that one.
Nice.
So I'm still kind of recovering from a hangover from last night. Grave Command played what is going to be our last show for a while, since my drummer's moving up to Oregon, sort of, and coming back, and then going there, and coming back, and going there. So we're still together. We're still going to be playing, but it's going to be a lot
Where
harder.
Greg roams.
Yes, Greg is a roamer. He's a loner, Dottie. He's a rebel.
Nobody understands him. He's like the wind, baby.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
That was
Thanks
a
for
great
coming
show.
out,
Yeah.
bringing the girlfriend and everything, and it was a lot of fun playing with Bad Samaritans again for the billionth time from my old band. And I just got announced to appear in New Jersey for On Point Wrestling Survival is Sickest
Nice.
in May. So got my flight information. I'm good to go. I will be in New Jersey.
Who are you making bleed?
I'm not sure yet. It's a tournament, so probably many people until the third round when I win the trophy.
Right. Take it home.
That's the goal, anyway.
Yeah.
Bring it back to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Show these East Coast motherfuckers what we're all about.
I had a blood experience today.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that.
Today I learned what it smells like when someone loses a pint of blood in one shot from their anus.
What, does it smell like Christmas cookies? Or?
It smells like a jar full of pennies and shit.
Oh. Yeah, because the rust smell of the blood.
Yeah.
And then, So
that happened today. I was standing right
not
outside.
a good experience?
I was standing right outside the poor guy's room, and I heard him kind of like grunt scream, and then the smell hit me, and I was like, "Nurse, nurse!" And the nurse came, and
Yeah.
she started treating. She went, "Oh shit," because I guess they were expecting it to happen at some point, and she ran in there and started treating him, and then afterwards I was like, "So what was that?" As she's taking these like bloody shit covered rubber gloves off of her hands and putting them in the toxic waste disposal can. I was like, "What was that?" She's like, "Oh, he just lost a pint of blood from his anus in one shot."
So, post-mortem listeners, whenever you're having a bad day at work,
Yeah.
I just want you to remember, you could be cleaning up a pint of shit blood
Yeah.
from a human being.
Pints of shit blood should be our rating system.
There it is. But before we get into our non-horror movie reboots and our good and bad movie, we're going to have a little bit of horror news. Yes. So, as a follow-up to some previous post-mortem news, the first season of the original Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack has been added to Amazon.
The stack is back.
The stack is back. They brought back the stack. There's 24 episodes up, and they're promising some more stack episodes. And, unfortunately, some more Dennis Farina episodes.
Sex offender.
We don't like to speak ill of the dead. Ah, fuck it. This is post-mortem.
I don't like to speak ill of the dead unless they're Dennis Farina or Hitler.
You should have played Hitler once. You know, that would probably be, he'd be probably good at it.
Like a greasy Italian Hitler. Mussolini.
Great minds think alike.
So I only have one piece of news, and I think it's gonna spawn a discussion. So why don't you go ahead and go with the
fire
rest
off
of
with
your
the horror news, and then you're going to go back
away.
to the Post Mortem live show news and our groundbreaking media coverage.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
All right, I got two more things of horror news for you guys. Jeremy Saulnier, who made Green Room, is making an adaptation of William Grawley's best-selling novel Hold the Dark, which is to shoot in Alberta, Canada, February 27th. The director of Green Room and Blue Ruin will be releasing the film through Netflix.
Okay.
Hold the Dark takes place in Alaska, where nature writer Russell Core is summoned to track a pack of wolves that are suspected of killing 3 children. He is hired by the parents of a 6-year-old boy believed to have been killed by the wolves. After the mother disappears, the boy's father returns from the Iraq War intent on wreaking havoc. Grawley's novel, released in 2014, wowed critics and became a bestseller. The Los Angeles Review of Books called it a bleak, brutal tale of violence and alienation amid unforgiving wilderness.
So it's not about werewolves?
Nope, I don't think so. I think it's going to Jeremy Saulnier's movies like Green Room and Blue Ruin are both very based in reality.
Gritty realism.
Gritty, sudden violence. I think it's going to be good shit. So, New York Times said it's spectacularly violent and exquisitely written. So
nice.
If this can translate from the book to being an awesome movie, you got the right guy.
Hey, he does violence well.
He's been killing it. I mean, those last 2 movies, Murder Party was his first one, I believe, and that was more of a comedy horror, which I did enjoy a lot as well. But Blue Ruin was awesome, and Green Room even better in my opinion. So with this, maybe he's going to keep going on the upswing. We can only hope. So
more power to him.
So I got one more thing that's also Netflix related. Netflix has released the trailer for I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, which is playing at the Sundance Film Festival before arriving on streaming services February 24th. I Don't Feel at Home in This World is a story of Ruth, a nursing assistant suffering through a crisis of existential despair. But when her house is burglarized, Ruth discovers a renewed sense of purpose in tracking down the thieves. Accompanied by her obnoxious martial arts enthusiast neighbor, Tony, played by Elijah Wood, martial arts enthusiast.
Nice.
What the fuck? They soon find themselves dangerously out of debt against a pack of degenerate criminals. So Kung Fu Hobbits would be a good rating system if we don't already have the Punisher one.
Every hobbit was Kung Fu fighting.
Written and directed by Macon Blair, who appears in both Jeremy Saulnier's Blue Ruin and Green Room. So this is kind of tied together in my 2 pieces of news here.
It's like Inception.
Yeah.
Newsception.
The film has a distinctive look courtesy of cinematographer Larkin Siepel, who was on Swiss Army Man.
Nice.
So, and also stars David Yao, Jane Levy, Devin Gray, Christine Woods, Robert Longstreet, Lee Eddy, and Gary Anthony Williams. So, looking forward to that one too. Both of those seem to be. I got all positive news this week.
Yeah.
Now for the negative news.
Yeah. Well,
I
wouldn't call it negative news.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. So for those of you who have been listening, we're doing Post Mortem Live this coming Saturday, February 4th at Cal Poly. At the University Union Chumash Theater. I went and checked the venue out. It's nice. They're going to be providing us with a big screen and a projector for it and sound equipment and everything.
So we don't need to bring anything other than a laptop, huh?
I think we should bring our own anyway in case anyone tries to fuck with us. We need to go guerrilla style.
Okay.
But we'll just have it in the wings,
Okay.
But what happened was Breitbart, or Fake Bart as I like to call it.
Yeah. Mainstream right-wing news.
It's not even news. It's a fucking tabloid.
Yeah,
it's like a white supremacist tabloid
to make their guys look good and that shit.
Yeah. Where Milo Yiannopoulos is one of the editors and run by Steve Bannon, who is currently one of Donald Trump's top advisors and is partially responsible for drafting the racist ass immigration bills that we are currently fighting against.
Yeah.
They ran not one but 2 articles on us in one day.
Yeah, on Post Mortem, our little show here.
Except in the first article, they claimed that the Satanic Temple was behind it. And all of the people in their comment section were like, Satanists are ruining everything.
Yeah.
Rah.
We're showing regurgitated sacrifice.
Yeah.
Is this a major Satanist movement? No, we want to show people puking on each other.
And this Cloven Hoof Society thing that's involved in it, which, fucking big surprise. It's a project that I've been working on. There's satanic elements to it, but it very specifically never said this is Satanism.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
No.
It's performance art.
Yeah.
You know, but they sort of put their own pieces together and created their own narrative and said that the Satanic Temple was involved, and then the Satanic Temple hit them up and was like, no, we're not doing this, guys.
Guys, there's hundreds of comments on our little show on this fucking fake news website.
People threatening to like send their football player children after us.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of angry college jocks in polo shirts to beat you up.
Yeah.
Bring it on, motherfuckers.
Yeah, for real. They do not know who they're fucking
with. I get beat up for a living. I don't give a fuck.
These motherfuckers think that we're a bunch of like, you know, mamby-pamby fucking college liberals.
Yeah.
Like, they've got another thing
Yeah,
coming.
they're thinking we're going to be like hippies or something.
Yeah. And the thing that gets me about all of this is that they've repeatedly said that by protesting the Milo Yiannopoulos event that we're going to be protesting on Tuesday, and by hosting the event that we're hosting on Saturday in protest, that we're stepping on their right to free speech.
Yeah, like we're trying to censor them.
Yeah.
You know?
First of all, we're not the government, and the right to free speech only protects you from government censorship.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, we're obviously not a politically correct show.
No, we don't give a fuck. Yeah.
I don't personally believe that political correctness actually exists. I think it's something that people say, you know, when they want to say, I'm going to use words that I don't commonly use, but I'm using them as an example. When they want to say nigger and they want to say faggot, and we tell them that they can't say that.
Yeah, when they want to do hate speech.
Yeah.
And basically, they want to be an asshole, and they don't want people to say...
Yeah. They don't want consequences, which makes them the most fucking entitled snowflakes.
Yeah. All their
anywhere.
words they use to describe the liberals. Yeah. Fuck.
So, it's going to be interesting what happens. I'm anticipating protesters.
Yeah.
And frankly, I welcome protesters.
Me too.
Because it's free speech.
Any publicity is good publicity for this little show. And I think we're going to get some new listeners.
Yeah, and we'll be showing, you know, we'll be...
They don't realize by putting us all over their fucking news thing, they're directing traffic towards our website.
Yeah.
And people are sharing it. And
and people are saying they're coming to the event, and people are liking the Post Mortem page, and people are
free
liking the
advertising
Society page. Yeah, exactly.
Please continue to talk shit about us.
Yeah, please.
Bard or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. Come cause a problem, but don't cause a physical problem, because... we are not going to tolerate that shit.
Last month, I tried to shove a barbed wire bat up a grown man's ass in a death match.
Yeah.
And that is nothing compared to what's going to happen at
well, that was a guy you liked.
Yeah.
So, it's been fun. We're getting some national coverage now on a tabloid site.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys are in the area, please come out. If you're not in the area, you know, and you're down to follow the progress of the story, we've shared on the Post Mortem show page some of the screenshots of the comments that we're getting. And then these dirty Satanists, first of all, I am an atheist, not a Satanist.
I'm kind of a Satanist, but like I'm not libertarian enough to be an actual Satanist. So.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the occult and interested in the philosophical aspect of it.
But the main thing is, we're not at Cal Poly trying to summon demons and shit.
Right.
We're showing Regurgitated Sacrifice by Lucifer Valentine.
Yeah.
One of the sickest movies you'll ever see.
Yeah.
To push the boundaries of free speech.
Right.
They want to say, we can do this. You know, our protests, we're not even talking about these fucking assholes.
Right.
We're just showing this crazy ass movie and inviting people to come out and have a good time.
Yeah.
In protest of what they're doing.
Exactly.
And there will be some demonstrations and shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. ARA is going to speak. I've got some other things planned.
Yeah. There's going to be some good shit. So if you guys can come out, it's completely free.
Yeah. You know what else is funny is I got hit up over the Cloven Hoof Society page by a guy who claimed to be a quote-unquote real Satanist, but he couldn't spell LeVay. And he was like, oh, you're just a bunch of fucking Hot Topic Satanists. This isn't real Satanism, blah, blah, blah. Satan, your Satanists wouldn't try to hamper free speech because Satanists have been held down by free speech since the dawn of time. And I was like, all right, buddy, Satanism has existed since 1968.
Yeah.
Tell me about Satanists that have been held down in history by lack of free speech. And he couldn't say shit.
The thing is, all these people, we're getting it from both sides a little bit, which I like. I mean, controversy creates cash, even though it's a free show.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm down with what the Satanic Temple does. I like what they do. If you're a Levian Satanist in the modern day and age, you're nothing but a fucking failed libertarian who wants to piss off your Christian parents.
Yeah.
That's all Levian Satanism is at this point.
And to be honest, I mean, to me, it probably shouldn't be called Satanism because that makes people think that you're like a devil worshiper or something like that, when that's not even what it has to do with or anything
Right.
like that. But people, we get the right coming at us, all the fucking Nazis that are coming to the campus to do their little speech. Now we got these real Satanists coming out when it's not even, nothing has been mentioned of Satanism.
Right. Yeah.
On this, by us, only by the
only
by
them.
Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You plant a little seed and you see how it grows.
All right, that's enough politics for now. We're not a political show, but we want you guys to come out and see what we're doing. And it's a good little anecdote. I want you guys to check out on our page the comments that we shared.
Yeah.
You know, the screenshots of the comments. Dom put it all together in a nice little graphic of some of the best ones, and it's fucking funny.
It's hilarious. I was grinning ear to ear. It was 2 Fridays ago now, I guess, as of the recording of this show. I was grinning ear to ear all day, just laughing every time something new came in.
Yeah,
these motherfuckers. I anticipated them to get self-righteous and to play into our hands, but I thought it was going to take weeks. It took a day.
I know. I don't know how it spread so quickly. And the thing is, too, like when I was looking at it, you're like, look at these comments. Look, we made this thing. I click it. It's like, view more comments. View more comments. I'm like, what the fuck? How many of these are there? So, yeah. That's it for horror news and anti-Nazi extreme real Satanism news or whatever the fuck you were going to say. But, yeah, we will be at Cal Poly. But before that, we're going to come back with the good movie and the bad movie. And I got a stinker after this.
Sunday!
It's SenCal Pro!
Returning to The Graduate.
February 12th, 2017.
990 Industrial Way, San Luis Obispo, California.
There's going to be headlocks.
Headlocks. There's going to be bumlocks. I'm going to do the first ever bumlock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you going to choke someone's ass out?
I already did the thumb up the ass. I've already tried to fuck a man with a barbed wire bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is wrestling.
Yeah. But what we're going to bring you is every title will be defended.
Tag team titles, 5 cities
Five
titles,
cities.
heavyweight title.
And a special pumpkin patch death match for the 5 series title. This is going to be a good fucking show. We might joke, but this is serious business.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We've got some big announcements coming up.
Yes, we do.
Be there for SenCal Pro.
Pro.
It's time for the good movie. And the bad movie. Yeah. The good movie and the bad movie. And my bad movie is not that bad, and my good movie is not that good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of down the middle road with this one. I know you got a good movie, so I'll kick us off here with my bad movie. 2010, directed by Adam Wingard, who made You're Next and The New Blair Witch. Starring A.J. Bowen, Amy Seimetz, and Joe Swanberg, A Horrible Way to Die. Have you seen this?
I have not seen it, but I've seen it around.
You've seen it around,
Yeah.
It's not horrible, but I'll get into that. So, an escaped murderer in pursuit of his ex-girlfriend who has fled to start a new life in a small town. So, this guy is a famous serial killer, basically. His girlfriend didn't know, and she goes, like, almost witness protection style, goes and moves away, and he escapes.
Dun, dun, dun.
In the cold open, we have eerie music and Garrick, played by A.J. Bowen, telling a bound and gagged woman, "Don't worry, you're going to be okay," and then just strangling her to death. Right? He says that. And that kind of popped me. I kind of like that, but it's pretty funny. We then meet a drug and alcohol support group where the socially awkward Kevin tries to get in the pants of the withdrawn Sarah. When she reluctantly agrees, they both are weirded out by the offer of drinks and wine bottles on display when they go to dinner. And we get a glimpse of Kevin's strange but sweet sense of humor and the fact that the both of them are struggling with their alcoholism on a day-to-day basis. Meanwhile, serial killer Garrick has broken out of prison and killed the guard. Garrick's story is told with flashbacks, such as the beginning of the movie was actually after the escape. This movie is not like Memento, where it's completely backwards, but it does bounce around a little bit in time, which was sort of confusing. I mean, I kind of kept up with it, but at points I was like, oh, he grew a beard?
When he broke out of prison and killed the guard, was the guard Danny Trejo, and was he like, "Why, Mikey?
Wait, Mickey, wait." We soon learn that Sarah is actually Garrick's ex, and most likely what drove her into alcoholism in the first place.
Makes sense.
There's flashbacks of her, like him leaving in the night, and she's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I just need to go for a walk." And they'll go out and just kill hookers and shit. So she finally lets awkward Kevin bang her, and he premature ejaculates in like 30 seconds.
Aww.
He's a pretty sympathetic character, but she comes off like a bitch. Like, so the guy that wants to get in her pants is probably my second favorite character beyond the killer, but the main lead girl, I don't like her. That's one of my problems with this movie is, you know, the main character, if you don't like the main character, it's kind of hard to get behind him.
Right.
So. No, she's been through a lot of trauma and fighting alcoholism, but she's very unlikable. I really did like the character of Garrick, who's the killer. He's a crazy, deranged killer, but Bowen's performance comes off more likable than the girl.
Huh.
Like you'd want to like meet this killer rather than hang out with her and possibly die. In
right.
The process. First two acts, the gore is only past tense. You know, you see like dead bodies, but no real gory killings. Changes in the third act with some pretty good practical gore and a unique stabbing. The movie does drag ass, though.
Yeah.
Thought it should have been titled "A Horrible Waste of Time." At one point. Then it kind of came back a little bit. The last 13 minutes is when it came back. The last 13 minutes of the movie is the best of the movie. Goes in a way that I definitely didn't expect and went way crazy. I'm surprised that what happened at the end was such a... I don't want to spoil it. I'm trying to not say what happened, but It's not what I expected at all. So I bumped it up 2 full points for that factor because it really got me.
Nice.
Like, it really surprised me, and that's hard to do sometimes with modern day twist horror, you know, M. Night Shyamalan kind of shit. So IMDb gives it a 5.2. I'm going to say 5.5 pints of anus blood.
Nice.
So not a horrible movie. Yeah. Not a horrible waste of time like I thought.
0.5 points above average.
A horrible way to die, yeah. So it's watchable, but not what I expected. I thought it was going to be a lot better. So.
Something to watch when you're sick or something.
Yeah. Something to watch when you're like me. And you watch all the fucking horror movies that come out to try to find a good movie and a bad movie every week.
Yeah.
Which is becoming hard because
it's not
now
easy.
I'm getting like 5 bad movies to 1 good movie and banking all these bad movies to review on the show. Yeah. I watched this fucker like weeks ago. But I can't find a fucking good movie. God damn it.
Hopefully we'll have a few coming out in the near future. So.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. My bad movie is a 2017 psychological horror directed by Alistair Legrand called Clinical.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's the first...
I almost watched that, but I'm like, it's probably going to suck.
It's the first Netflix original I've seen that I didn't like. So, hopefully Netflix hasn't jumped the shark at this point.
Yeah.
The synopsis is that a psychiatrist tries to put her life back together after a violent attack by a patient by seeking to repair the life of a new patient. But his history begins to unlock further trauma in her mind, sending her reality spiraling out of control.
I read that synopsis, and that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
It seemed like,
Yeah. And I'm not going to give too much away because there are some twists and turns, but, you know, it was very predictable the whole way. Like, it tried to have a lot of twists and turns, but they were all telegraphed, and I really ended up calling everything before it happened. It was like...
Was it one of those things that has, like, bad display of mental illness, not understanding it again?
It was...
Like dementia?
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as dementia. Like,
Yeah.
They did a little bit of homework. They just kind of like got it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't as nuanced as it could have been.
Yeah.
The characters were good. The acting was good, but the characters were paper thin, and very little was shown of anyone before the traumatic events happened. So there wasn't any frame of reference or any reason to care about anyone. Like, everyone conveyed their emotions the right way, and the characters that were likable, and the characters that were pathetic were pathetic. But there wasn't any hook for anyone. I will say, though, that the direction and camera work was very competent. The director knows how to create tension and used his angles right, used his shadows right, used his lighting right, used these blur effects for some of the crazier scenes, like the crazy time scenes.
So well made, but bad story, bad acting, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the special effects were 100% practical and good.
Cool.
There was some... I wouldn't say there was a lot of gore, but there was a lot of blood.
Uh-huh.
And it was all very well done. My real problem with the movie is that it seemed like the main character was being punished for something the whole time, but she never actually did anything wrong. People just kept telling her that she was bad at her job as shit went down, even though in the beginning everyone was telling her she was the best at her job. And it ultimately felt like she was being punished for just being a psychiatrist, which makes me question if this movie was like secretly produced by the Church of Scientology or something.
Yeah.
It's what it felt like. You know, it felt like when you go to the Museum of Psychology in LA that the Church of Scientology set up, and they're just saying all psychologists are evil, all psychiatrists are evil. They're just trying to warp your mind, and you know, it was.
Can I go on a brief tangent here? So, second phase of the honeymoon, me and Aubrey went to Hollywood,
right,
where the church that Scientology display is, you know, with all the celebrities and shit like that.
Yeah.
This old man in just like a white collared shirt and a tie comes up to me and Aubrey, and she's very friendly.
Right.
You know? I knew right away that this is fucking Scientology guy.
Yeah.
And he's trying to give her these tickets to come watch this movie for free. It's
yeah,
free.
they're fucking stupid ass
and
movie.
she's talking to him for like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, when we're walking down Hollywood Boulevard and or Sunset, maybe, I can't remember. But the guy's like they put him out there because he's got like a charisma, I could tell, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay, well, we gotta go, you know? Comes down to it, and I'm like, hey, you know that was a cult, right?
So yeah, decent direction and acting, but a flimsy as fuck script and flimsy characters made it predictable and boring. Guess Netflix can't win them all. I'm gonna give this one 4 out of 10 pints of
anus blood.
Pints of anus blood.
Yeah, that's our rating system. All right, My Good Movie, 2016, written by Jeremy Slater and directed by Carles Torrens, starring Dominic Morgan and the smoking hot Ksenia Solo.
Wait, Dominic Monaghan, like the dude from...
Dominic Monaghan, yeah.
Yeah, okay, the Irish guy, yeah?
Well, he doesn't have an Irish accent in this.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe he is, but and dropping the accent, but Ksenia Solo is smoking hot. She's Peggy Shippen on Turn Washington Spies.
Okay.
So I saw she was in it, and I was like, I want to watch it. Saw she was in it, and then I watched Pet.
Okay, I've heard about this movie.
Right?
Yeah, I think you did tell me about it.
It's a psychological thriller about a man named Seth who bumps into an old crush and subsequently becomes obsessed with her, leading him to hold her captive underneath the animal shelter where he works in the basement. But what will the victim have in store for her captor?
Oh, shit.
So it starts off really strong. Seth delivers on the creepy and obsessive vibe. He sees Holly on the bus and is too much of a jobber to ask her out. Then he goes to her work where she's a waitress, and she starts getting a little creeped out. She starts receiving flowers, thinking that they're from an old boyfriend that she ran into at the bar also. But Seth follows her to a bar where she confesses that they're from him, and he comes off like a total fucking stalker. He's very creepy right there. He eventually gets his ass kicked by the bartender, who is the other old boyfriend, and thrown out. But he isn't done. He constructs and bolts a cage to the abandoned basement of the animal shelter, and this is where problems start. Why are there abandoned offices and warehouses beneath an animal shelter? Like, it's abandoned hallways with rooms that look like dilapidated and shit underneath an animal shelter? What the fuck? Why? Does that make any sense? Would there be a whole abandoned wing of this animal shelter?
Not unless they're like remodeling or something.
Yeah,
like that.
It's not like that though. So it's never explained. When he imprisons her, his day-to-day workload suffers because of the time she takes up as his pet.
Right.
He begins to try to break her down psychologically for obedience, but is almost fired several times for not completing his duties. So there's other people at this place. It's not like an abandoned... It's like a animal shelter office where he has a boss and there's coworkers and shit. But only he goes down here and holds this lady captive in a cage.
Huh.
So that's kind of like a, very... It's not plausible.
Right.
So there's a big twist about halfway through the movie, which kind of killed it for me. I was enjoying it at the beginning and stuff. I could get through the fucking cage being in an animal shelter, all this shit. But with the twist, I like the direction they were going. It just jumped the shark right there. So I won't get into why, because this is brand new and I want you to see it for yourself. With that being said, even though it has its faults, it was more entertaining than most recent horror movies, and I don't regret watching it. It's worth it just for the Ksenia Solo booty short shot you get towards the end of the movie. Although some nudity would have bumped this up a full rating point, if not more.
Full pint.
Yeah, full pint of bloody anus juice. So IMDb gives it a 5.9. I'm gonna go ahead and say 6.5 pints.
All right.
Of anus blood.
Pints of the AB.
Yeah, if she would have delivered on the goods there, I would have been very happy.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
you've never seen Turn yet, huh?
No.
You don't ever listen to anything I say. But she's smoking hot, Ksenia Solo. So
cool. So My Good Movie is one that we have been talking about quite a bit on the show over the last few months. 2016 documentary, actually released in 2017, called Beware the Slender Man.
Yeah.
Finally saw it on HBO.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's directed by Irene Taylor Brodsky. And after a long wait and lots of hype, this one lived up to expectations.
That's awesome. It almost seemed like it wasn't going to because it was been talked about and pushed back and pushed back, it seemed like.
They added some stuff to it at the end.
Yeah.
The trial hasn't completed yet, but they added some very necessary updates that I think gave at least this documentary a feeling of closure. And I'm sure there's going to be another one after the trial ends.
Yeah.
So the synopsis is pretty simple. It's a documentary about the origins of the Slender Man myth, the crime it inspired, where the two little girls took their friend out to the woods and stabbed her almost to death. She lived. And the effect that it actually had on the families of those involved. The girl who got stabbed, she and her family didn't participate in the documentary, but the families of the girls who did the stabbing participated.
Okay.
Which made it really interesting. It comes from different standpoints. First, like the way it addresses the Slender Man as like a modern myth from an anthropological perspective, and the way that it was sort of created and proliferated and spread out, and like how it kind of moved beyond the internet and became an actual modern urban legend.
Yeah.
They go into that, and then it approaches the stabbing from a human perspective, and also it asks questions about mental health, because one of the girls who did the stabbing, her dad was schizophrenic.
Did they make like some Slender Man footage? And
Yeah, they
insert it
did.
in there?
They did.
Did they use Doug Jones?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the credits.
Better be Doug Jones.
But so one of the girls who did the stabbing, her father was schizophrenic, but was on medication and has it like regulated so he can live a normal life. And she was diagnosed schizophrenic after being arrested, but they were holding her in total seclusion at this juvenile detention facility, which just made her spiral completely out of her head in her schizophrenia and get worse before she even could get to trial. And then the other girl who did it, she's not diagnosed with anything, but just from looking at her, watching her talk about things, it's like watching someone with Asperger's talk about something, how they just info dump on you.
Yeah.
But also she was really, really manipulative, and you could see how she like manipulated her friend into doing things.
Yeah.
And was trying to manipulate the police. And because the girls were so young, and because before this happened, like, everybody thought they were totally normal.
Yeah.
It shocked the shit out of the parents too, and the parents were normal. They were involved. And so it almost shows how, like, by victimizing this girl, this little girl, the two girls who did it actually victimized their parents too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So all of that was great, and in between all of the like real world frightening subject matter, the director does create scenes of encounters with the Slender Man that are super creepy. The Slender Man.
So it's kind of like The Nightmare,
right?
Where it's like a documentary, but it has these
right.
footage that they make for the purpose.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
What the director did is she went online and she looked at all of this different art, like on DeviantArt and all of these websites of people who made the Slender Man, and then she did real life recreations of these people's artwork.
Oh wow!
So it looks fucking rad.
Yeah.
And in every scene that you see it, the Slender Man's interpreted slightly differently because it's based on these artists' interpretations.
Yeah.
So it looks really cool. It's very well done. The music is cool too. It's this weird kind of like, it's like ambience and weird mechanical grinding sounds.
Oh wow!
I almost want to say dubstep, but it's not like that. Dubstep.
Yeah.
It's like if you took dubstep and dialed it way the fuck back
and not made it so fucking annoying and
right.
unbearable.
Yeah, and then mixed it with the cool ambient stuff and the piano and all that.
Yeah, that's cool. Kind of like not like Mechanical Ghost, but like mixing that with dubstep. Or
yeah,
something.
exactly. I really liked it. The documentary succeeded in asking a lot of important questions from the formation of the myths and the state of mental health in America, even to where evil is a matter of nature or nurture. It was kind of a study of that. And it goes all the way up to the point that the judge decides to try the girls as adults. And then that's where it ends. And it's long. It's more than 2 hours long, but it never feels long.
Wow, okay.
Very good documentary on a very fucked up subject, and I'm actually going to give it 9 out of 10 pints of anus blood.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, I might have to borrow your HBO Go.
Yeah.
I do not have HBO. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seen some Slender Man.
Yeah, held
if
up.
Doug Jones was in there, it would have been full 10.
Yeah. Maybe that's what kept it from being a full 10 right there.
All right, we'll be back with our top 5 monster mashups, I believe.
Yeah.
Non-horror movies remade, combined with a horror movie. After this. In 2016, God couldn't get the job done. So maybe it's time that you give the other guy a try.
Satan.
Is that the other guy?
Yeah.
I thought it was Howie Mandel.
He's the third guy.
He's the third guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this time, we're talking about Satan.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. February 4th, Post Mortem is going live once more. This time at Cal Poly University in San Luis Obispo, California, we are having a demonic double feature. We're showing Kenneth Anger's Invocation of My Demon Brother, one of the first truly satanic films ever made, followed by, sponsored by the man himself, Lucifer Valentine's Regurgitated Sacrifice.
We have the blessing from the greatest modern horror director of all time, bar none. If you don't agree, fuck you.
Eat a mouthful of puke.
Eat a mouthful of Hank Skinny's puke.
This event is being sponsored by Anti-Racist Action, Antifa, Cal Poly Students for Quality Education, Post Mortem, and the Cloven Hoof Society. What is that? You'll have to find out later.
You gotta be in the know to know, bro.
That's right.
If you don't know, maybe you can't afford it. It's like a ZJ.
That's right. So come on out. Come out to our event. Come watch some fucked up cinema with us. Come learn a little bit about the satanic history of film. And hopefully we'll offend a few people.
Yes, we did. Especially, they're going to have that fucking douchebag Milo come and speak on campus.
The Tuesday before our event, he's coming out.
He is. And in protest, that's why this event is going to happen.
Yep.
They want to say free speech is why they let these fucking Nazi fuckers spew their shit all over the local college.
If they want free speech, we'll give them free speech.
We'll give them free speech, and that's a grown man puking up a baby leg in a blender repeatedly and drinking it.
Puking into a severed skull and drinking it and puking it and drinking it, puking it back and forth forever.
I'm gonna, we're gonna get back into some post-mortem after I get this octopus and put it on my head. That was a great sound effect.
Yeah.
We've talked about the limited budget for sound effects, but I think we can afford one more of those. And now back to some more post-mortem. And we're back! With the top 5 monster mashups.
We do the mash.
We did the monster mash, and it was a post-mortem smash.
Yeah.
So these are going to be non-horror movies, rebooted, remade, and combined with an existing horror movie.
Whatever happened to my Transylvanian twist?
You want to start us off?
Sure. My first one is called Eat, Pray, Kill.
Eat, Pray, Kill, huh?
Julia Roberts stars as the lost daughter of the Sawyer clan. After her
Pretty Woman?
Yeah. No, Eat, Pray, Love, Beach, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After her inner fight to resist her cannibalistic urges ruins yet another relationship, she sets off to travel the world, meet interesting people, learn about their cultures, and then eat them. It's a heartwarming journey of spirituality, self-discovery, murder, and human flesh consumption.
I like it. Who would direct this movie?
This would be directed by Roman Polanski.
Awesome. Hopefully he wouldn't be touching little girls on set or anything. My number 5. So I'm going to list the movies and then do my plot, what they're combined with. So, my number 5 combines Jack Ketchum's The Woman with Encino Man. When two bumbling idiots who are implied to be stoners but never show them smoking weed, because this is a PG-13 horror movie, dig up their yard to make a pool for their 20th high school reunion, not the prom this time.
Right.
Because it's been about 20 years since they uncover a frozen cannibal who they keep locked in their basement and try to domesticate and teach to wheeze the juice. But here's the kicker. It's Encino Woman, and it's played by Pollyanna McIntosh, who played the woman.
Right.
Starring an aged Pauly Shore and the fucking Hobbit fuck Sean Astin. And Pollyanna McIntosh.
And Brendan Fraser's like, what the fuck?
Brendan Fraser's written out of the story. I can't stand that fucker. But no, it's her. She's the woman. They find her when they're digging up the pool. Why would they need to dig up another pool 20 years later?
Life never changes.
They're still just losers. They have got no job. They still live at their mom's house. Here's our foreign exchange student. But honey, you're 40.
Why does she only have one nipple?
So this is, since it's a PG-13 horror movie, it's going to be directed by a team.
Okay.
Of Lucky McKee, who did The Woman, and Mike Flanagan. Because we know with PG-13 horror, Mike Flanagan can actually do it.
Yeah.
So, Encino Woman.
Okay.
The Woman and Encino Man.
Nice.
Logical combination, Encino Woman.
Makes sense.
How many fucking cavemen are in Encino?
Apparently there are a lot.
There's a whole settlement that got frozen.
All right. My next one is, I'm not even going to need to say what movies it is because it's right in the title.
Okay.
Friday the 13th. Directed by Tyler Perry.
Dude, this is my number 4 also.
Really?
Yeah. Friday and Friday the 13th.
Yeah, let's see how ours match up.
All right, you go first.
All right, mine is Ice Cube and Chris Tucker stars stoners Craig and Smokey. After sending the infamous Debo to prison once more, the duo is forced to enter witness protection when Debo escapes from prison and swears revenge. To move them as far away from the hood as possible, their FBI contact gets some jobs as counselors at Camp Crystal Lake.
That's awesome.
Ridiculousness ensues as the two of them are not good counselors, but then the comedy ramps up when they discover a wild weed patch in the woods. Soon, though, the counselors start disappearing, their mutilated bodies strewn about the woods. Is this the work of the escaped Debo gone mad with his lust for revenge? Or has the spirit of Jason Voorhees returned from the grave to seek out more blood? It turns out both are the case. But in a shocking turn of events, Debo ends up going to battle with Jason because he's not going to let anyone else kill Smokey and Craig. Also,
so Debo versus Jason instead of Freddy.
Yeah. Also, Chris Tucker screams a lot.
Dude, I like it. I like it more than mine, but I'm still going to give you mine.
All right.
Mine is a little bit off the rails. So, Friday the 13th after next.
Okay.
Like Friday after next and next Friday and all that shit. A serial killer named Debo Voorhees rides his squeaky bike wearing a hockey mask and stalks the streets. But stalks the streets of the ghetto of Camp Crystal Lake. But also, he is Zeus from WWF underneath the mask because it's played by Tony Lister.
Camp Crystal Lake.
So it's a Friday and Friday the 13th crossover. Also, it's No Holds Barred.
Okay.
It stars, since Macho Man is dead, and the iconic cage match of Macho Man and Zeus versus Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Right.
Lanny Poffo, the genius, Macho Man's younger brother, is going to star, in addition to Tiny Lister, Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, and CGI Macho Man Randy Savage. And also the Too Many Damn Enchiladas guy from Friday the 13th.
he needs
He'll
to be
fit
there.
right in there. Yeah, fit right in there. So, my grandmama Voorhees gave me that chain.
He can be the referee in the match.
Directed by wrestling superstar Virgil.
Nice.
Friday the 13th after next.
That's good.
It's a No Holds Barred and Friday the 13th. Those are all things I love.
Yeah. Crazy lightning.
Debo Voorhees on the squeaky bike. Well, you know how in the one where there's like psychics and shit in Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
And Jason's mask gets ripped off and you see his face a bunch.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. But underneath it's Zeus with the unibrow and the Z's shaped into the center of his head.
And he and Jason both are kind of cockeyed, so it works. All right. My number 3 is Robin Hood, Prince of Hell. Co-directed by Clive Barker and Lucifer Valentine. Kevin Costner stars as Robin Hood. On a routine robbing of the rich, the merry men obtain a mysterious puzzle box, which they bring back to Sherwood Forest. One by one, the men are seduced by the box, thinking that if they open it, they'll find some great treasure inside, and one by one, they're torn to pieces by Pinhead and turned into hellish Cenobites. It's up to Robin Hood to stop the Cenobites before they leave Sherwood Forest and terrorize Nottingham, but Robin, who's been drinking a lot because the sheriff of Nottingham recently killed his girlfriend, Maid Marian, is forced to ask himself the big question. What if these demons were actually sent here to punish the corrupt denizens of Nottingham, specifically the sheriff? And in a moment of blind anger, Robin lets the Cenobites go. But before they leave, Pinhead's chains tear Robin limb from limb and rebuild him into a demonic monstrosity portrayed by a combination of Kevin Costner and Hank Skinny in a single flesh monster suit, who then leads the charge into Nottingham by shooting barbed arrows and puking in the faces of the people of Nottingham until they are all dead.
That's awesome. I love it. My number 3 is called American Die.
Okay.
It's a combination of American Pie and Stephen King's Thinner. When Eugene Levy drives drunk and hits an old gypsy woman with his car while getting a beach, the woman's husband puts a curse on a pie and gives it to the family. When a teenage Jim gets horny and fucks the cursed pie, he becomes rapidly thinner, as with each continuous orgasm and spill of man goo. He loses 5% body fat every time he comes.
Just keep
But he
fucking
can't
the
resist
pie.
because he's a horny teenager,
Right.
so he keeps beating off and fucking the cursed pie.
Sexy cursed pie.
With each 5% body fat he drops, the hilarity ensues. Starring Eugene Levy, Jason Biggs, Joe Mantegna, and Doug Jones as the gypsy.
Nice.
Directed by Peter Jackson to give it the gore and comedic chops in his return to horror comedy, American Die.
Nice. My number 2 is Oliver Stone's The Wolf of Elm Street. Leonardo DiCaprio stars as Jordan Belfort, a corrupt stockbroker who fucks over everyone he knows in the name of the almighty dollar. One night he attends a party, does one too many Quaaludes, and finds himself in a coma. Stuck in a perpetual dream state, Jordan is forced to live an entirely different life as a normal middle-class guy with a middle-class, normal, boring life just trying to make ends meet. He's employed as a dock worker and has to do intense manual labor that he's not accustomed to for a strict, overbearing boss portrayed by Robert Englund. He's married to his high school sweetheart, also portrayed by Robert Englund in drag, who has become a miserable pill popper and barely gets out of bed. Their children are also played by CG shortened Robert Englunds.
It'd be better if he was on his knees with the shoes on his knees.
Living in this middle-class hell is only the beginning, though. When an unscrupulous loan agent, also played by Robert Englund, but with a goatee, runs off with Jordan's money and his house is forced into foreclosure, Jordan's reality cracks and begins to fall apart as demons and other hellish monstrosities replace his wife and children. He's ultimately pursued by the one and only Springwood slasher himself, Freddy Krueger. Is Jordan the last son of Springwood, or is this all a feverish dream guided by his own guilty conscience? Will Jordan wake from his coma and turn a new leaf, or will Freddy finish him off?
That's awesome. I like all the Robert Englunds. That's what really delivers.
Yeah.
You know what, that movie needs? One more Robert Englund. He should play every character.
Except for DiCaprio's character.
Even
he should even play DiCaprio.
And then he should also play people like bystanders in the background.
It's the ultimate Robert Englund movie.
Okay. My next one, we're going to have to come up with a title together on this one.
All right.
Because I could not come up with anything that was better than My Candyman.
Okay.
A combination of My Girl and Candyman. After Macaulay Culkin is killed by a horde of African bees, he is he is risen when his childhood girlfriend mortician turned necromancer revives him. Since the bees are African, he dons blackface and a hook for a hand. So he paints up with the blackface, extremely offensive.
Right.
And especially, Macaulay Culkin.
Right, because he's real white.
Yeah, and he's like real privileged. He was rich as a little kid.
Yeah.
So this movie's going to be heavily protested. He has a hook for a hand and seeks revenge on the bullies he dealt with in school and on a local beekeeper and on Dan Aykroyd.
Of course.
Starring Macaulay Culkin, Anna Klumsky, Dan Aykroyd, and Tony Todd as the beekeeper. And directed by Clive Barker.
He's
My
busy this time.
Candyman.
My Candyman's pretty. That's a fitting title.
Yeah, My Girl and Candyman.
Yeah.
And since the bees are African killer bees, when they bite him, he turns black too, and he becomes the Candyman.
Because that's how you become. That's how black people are made. Like a black person bites a white person, and then you turn into a black person.
When you get stung by a bee.
Black bites matter.
Black bites. Macaulay Culkin needs the work. First of all,
yeah,
we're gonna use Macaulay Culkin in his current age and state. He looks like a crack addict, right? But we're gonna not reference that he's old, kind of like Dewey Cox. He's just gonna play a little kid still,
right?
And he will be on his knees with the shoes on his knees as he runs off the pier.
Nice. All right, my number one is directed by whoever the fuck directed Sharknado.
Oh God!
And it's called AVP Jurassic. A transport ship full of predators lands in the now abandoned Jurassic Park island for another chance to hunt dinosaurs, but they find that all of the herbivores have been killed off and all that's left are hyper-evolved super carnivores that feed on each other. At the same time, a passenger plane crashes on the other side of the island and the few survivors must make their way to the old Jurassic Park buildings in the hopes of finding a radio to call for help. Soon they're forced into the tunnels beneath the island by the battling predators and dinosaurs. There they discover that Jurassic Park was actually a front for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Publicly, they were cloning dinosaurs for a theme park, but secretly they were cloning alien xenomorphs for military purposes.
Underneath.
The unwitting humans release a facehugger, which implants eggs into a velociraptor, which eventually gives birth through its chest to the Queen Velocimorph.
I like it.
The stakes have never been this high the human predators must join forces to fight for their lives against alien dinosaur hybrids with motherfucking acid for blood.
That's awesome.
That's the best movie ever made.
And directed by the people who made Sharknado.
Whoever the fuck that was.
You know what? That does sound like the best movie ever made, but I'll up the ante a little. Okay. Because my movie, my number one, is a combination of The Passion of the Christ and Return of the Living Dead. After being brutally tortured, Jesus rises again when his remains are transported to a medical supply warehouse. When trioxin leaks, he rises and leads his army of split dogs to come for revenge. Coming this Easter, he's back, and he's pissed. Starring Roman Reigns as Zombie Jesus. With appearances by Leanna Quigley and the dude who played Tommy Jarvis.
Whoever that is.
You know, the guy who played Tommy Jarvis, and he's also in Return of the Living Dead. And that old guy died, so he can't be in it.
Right.
So we'll CGI him in there.
Yeah.
And now adding Robert Englund. Directed by Brian Yuzna.
Nice. What's the title for that one?
Return of the Living Christ.
That's awesome.
You got any honorable mentions?
No, that was my brain power for the week, man.
I had some more ideas. I did not elaborate, so I got a couple honorable mentions.
All right.
Let's simultaneously cut up with the plot for these movies, the names, everything together.
Okay.
So, Revenge of the Nerds and I Spit on Your Grave. A dork frat is raped by jocks.
Nerds!
It's a combination of Deliverance, too. Yeah. I'm going to make you squeal like a nerd. What do you think about that?
I spit on your frat house.
I spit on your nerds. Harry and the Hendersons and Dexter. Because John Lithgow was the killer in one of the seasons of Dexter.
Right.
And he's also the dad in Harry and the Hendersons. So instead of making him to be the Sasquatch is friendly, but if they teach him to be a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, I read a great book by Deadite Press recently called Bigfoot Crank Stomp.
Oh yeah, you read that?
About these crank dealers who capture Bigfoot and keep him in the basement under their crank shack.
Yeah.
And feed him crank just to see what happens.
Yeah.
And he goes crazy on this murder and sex rampage.
That's awesome. I need to read that. I've been looking at getting that for a while. I need to borrow it after you're done.
Yeah.
So what would we call Harry and the Lithgow? What would we call that one?
I don't know.
starring Robert Englund as Harry, starring Doug Jones as Harry, and Robert Englund with John Lithgow's CGI face superimposed on his body. So he does the physical acting, Robert Englund, but John Lithgow's face is superimposed on him. What would we call that one?
I don't know.
Harry and the Lithgows, I guess. That's all. If that's all we got. So another one, National Lampoon's Vacation, combined with Hostel. A white bread American family heads to Slovakian theme park where people auction them off to be killed.
National Lampoon's Slovakian Vacation.
Yeah, that's the best name ever.
Chasing Chevy.
Chasing Chevy? That's even better. Chevy Chase needs to work.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck and Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead.
That's a great movie. A great movie by itself.
I know, combined with Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Night of the Mallard, what would we call that?
Night of the Mallard. after failing in his career as a music agent and in his interspecies relationship with the human chick, Howard commits suicide and then gets brought back to life.
Also by Anna Klumsky, the necromancer who brought back the
right. She's bored.
This is a sequel to My Candyman. Also directed by the guy who made Sharknado.
Yeah.
The Sandlot and Cujo. The dog really is angry this time. Hercules, the dog from Sandlot.
Yeah,
it's a rabbit. He wants to kill these little fuckers for hitting balls into his yard. And then that old black guy, isn't that the guy who voiced Darth Vader?
Yeah, James Earl Jones, yeah.
Yeah. That old black guy teaches them to kill.
I bite your balls.
I bite your balls. That's a great name. And my last honorable mention, Rob Schneider.
That's just the movie. Rob
plays
Schneider.
Deuce Bigelow, Frankenhooker. After a pack of man-whores explode, a scientist sews them back together to get the best Frankenhooker with Rob Schneider's head. And the hilarity ensues.
Deuce Bigelow, Undead Gigolo.
Deuce Bigelow, Undead Gigolo.
That's great.
That's the best ever. So, yeah, monster mashups.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was fun. We will be doing this again sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have spied off all my honorable mentions. I could have recycled them.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can do this till the fucking end of time. There's plenty of horror movies. There's plenty of movies that aren't horror.
You know what's funny? I was a little bit stumped for a couple days trying to come up with some stuff for this. And I realized how few non-horror movies I actually watch. Everything that I watch is either horror, sci-fi, or a documentary.
Did you notice that most of mine are from our childhood?
Yeah.
Because I don't watch
exactly
horror anymore.
Yeah. I probably haven't seen Friday in 15 years, but you know.
Yeah, I think American Pie is my most recent movie on my mashup. So, besides some of the horror that comes in, but all the rest is 80s and 90s.
Yep.
So, yeah. Return of the Living Christ, though. It needs to be made. Starring Roman Reigns as Jesus H. Christ.
Jesus H. Christ. All right. Well, as H.P. Lovecraft said, as he anally prolapsed and lost 17 pints of blood from his rectum.
Is that the sound?
Pretty much. It was more like, ooh! If it smelled, I shouldn't laugh too much because that guy might die. But
way to put a damper on things here. Then we ended on a high note.
Yeah.
All this laughter, now it's just sadness.
Now someone's
melancholy.
Well, if it smells like fish,
throw the fucker back, and then combine it with something else.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash,
he did the monster mash.
the monster mash.
It was a graveyard
He
smash.
did the mash,
It caught on in a flash.
he did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom at at a vampire's feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun.
In a shoot.
The party had just begun.
In a shoot.
The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sound. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hound. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker
They
Five.
played the mash.
They played the monster
The
mash.
monster mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
played the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the monster mash. Out from his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
It's now the mash.
It's now the monster
The
mash.
monster mash.
And it's a graveyard
It's now
smash.
the mash.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool. Drac's a part of the band, and my monster mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent
Then
you.
you can mash.
Then you can monster mash,
The monster mash.
and you my graveyard
Then you can
smash.
mash.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mash.
Then you can monster mash.
Monster mash.
You impetuous young boy. Mash good.
Monster mash.